All right, welcome to another um My FX Buddies, the podcast. Right? Wow, it's been a week, but this feels so foreign. Oh, okay. It is the podcast, right? And I say podcast because there's a blog, right? Which is at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. And there's a video. And if you want to see the video, but you should really go to the blog because I know I'm not going to get to all these articles. I'm just going to point out the really, really good parts. Notice I said really, really good parts. Um, and there's a lot. There's a lot. And this is just 2 days. Last week was boring news. It was good news. It was forward movement news, but it was boring. Not much about the exchange rate. So that's why I didn't even bother to post anything because a lot of you guys read stuff elsewhere. And, but I didn't hear anyone talking about, well, I shouldn't say that because I don't listen to anyone. But, well, Nader, I watch him sometimes, but he didn't even bring the things that I'm going to bring today. So I don't know. Today is actually where I am. Yeah, it is. Right now it's Monday, August 14th. Oh, wait. And don't forget Spotify.com. That's where the video is. If you just want to watch the video, um, Spotify.com. Also, my FX Buddies. Yeah. And then RSS.com. My FX Buddies. And that's where a transcript, comes, becomes available. All right. Now, so even though it's Monday, these articles are for the weekend. Okay, so I had to start off with this one. The Sudanese government acknowledges the experience of dollar speculators and counts on September. What? Now, I doubt the Iraqi government knows my birthday, September 1st. So, what else could they be counting on September for? Well, let's see. So blah 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 blah, right? There's these other words here, but we're gonna skip those words. So, well, actually, this guy, right here, he is Basem Al-Awadi. He's a government spokesman. So he speaks usually on Tuesdays. Um, I guess he speaks when the government wants to say something, but Sudani doesn't, or he's elsewhere doing something else. I don't know, but that's his title. And so that's what he does. So this was on TV, this speech, but I don't know. This could be a standard. Um, actually, no, that does look different. This is not the regular Tuesday place. So maybe this was today. Well, it does say Sunday. All right. So he, oh yeah, and also they hope the release of budget funds. So those words right there would tell me that either they haven't released the funds or they just released them and they're hoping to see benefits from that. Okay, so the launch of the budget definitely means the availability of funds. And so I'm confused. We know the budget's passed. They put out the instructions and they're in the Gazette. So they're live. They're legal, live. They should be being acted on. So, but it's rock. That's what they do. Okay. So then he added, many financial advisors in the government hope with the release of budget funds that next month, which is September, will be a catalyst for the very large decrease in the dollar exchange rate. Woohoo! Now, you know, so don't get mad at me if September comes and all we get is the 1,000 rate, right? Or 1-to-1. That's not what I want. I want the full, well, actually, if we could exchange on 1-to-1, you know, that would be the leveraging, but the leveraging point. But I just want this thing over with, right? But anyway, so I wish there was a sentence in here that said it would increase the dinar, that they would be, they're counting on September to increase the dinar, but it doesn't. But if they could get a large reduction of the dollar and get it uniform everywhere, right? Meaning no more black market, that would be great. All right. And then, so the last sentence, over the past few months, the Central Bank of Iraq's attempts to control the parallel currency market, subjugate the exchange rate, and return it to the official rate of 1320 dinars per dollar have failed. So they know they have to do something, right? They're trying all these things, they're not working. What would be the thing that would work, right? All right. So I laugh now when I see that. I'm like, what? September? Okay. All right, I'll move on. Okay. Parliamentary Committee amending the investment law as an infrastructure to attract companies. So see here again, people ask me, well, why do you think it's not going to happen now? And I keep saying there's laws that need to pass to bring business in. I came across last week, I saw a law there's a law that they need to put in force to curb enforced disappearance. Did you hear me? Curb, not stop, not make illegal, right? Curb, CURB, curb enforced disappearance. That's kidnapping. And I'm like, really? You need a law in the books to do that? But see, it's things like that. If I'm a business and I'm bringing employees over, yeah, I want to know there's a law that says you can't kidnap my employees, right? So it seems crazy, but there it is, right? So we'll see. But that it's just things like that. But this is the investment law, and it said infrastructure. It's an infrastructure. So that means it's important. And see, they just need to amend that law. So that law's already done. It's one of those laws that are sitting there, probably already read 3 times. Like, there was an article that came out last week where they said there's laws being held hostage, right? And this is one of them. But it also says they need to amend it to keep pace with development taking place in the countries of the world, noting that the current investment law does not encourage attracting foreign investment. So they're going to change the rate. All these countries and companies are going to come in, but they need to know there's protection there, right? And yeah, so I just thought this was interesting. So there's a lot of talk about the heist of the theft of the century, heist of the century. Oh, where is this? If you're familiar with The Economist, let me see. Here you go. Does this look familiar? It's a magazine, but every year the first episode or whatever of a magazine edition, they have this funny, weird, um, full of hidden messages cover, right? I mean, even to the point where there's like videos on YouTube about what the cover means. But I used to read this. I don't. Well, it got expensive. It got like $13 per issue. Well, nowadays they have all half off stuff. But I heard that China bought it. So but I'm gonna look into that because I did used to like reading that. But they have an article they wrote about the theft of the century of Iraq. And so I'm like, wow, everyone is here's the first sentence. The exposure of crookery surrounding Iraq's tax revenues has rattled rulers past and present. And they list Kazemi, but here they have the way the West spells his name, Kadimi. So I just have a little snippet there because I don't have a subscription and I've already used my free one, right? They're like, oh, here, start a trial. But yeah, I already did that. So, okay. Here, I think, is the best. Mm, one of the articles that I'm glad that came out. I'll just say that. And you see, I have here the last sentence. So even if you go to the blog and you don't read the whole article, which you should, because it gives like a history of, is this the one? There's two. There's two that are really good. But, well, anyway, parliamentary diagnosis of reasons for the weakness of the Iraqi dinar since 2003 and what is America's relationship. All right, so, do they say we went in? Anyway, I'm not even going to say that. Okay, here's one of the sentences. The weakness of the dinar and its instability in the Iraqi markets, especially in recent times, has many reasons behind it, noting that the first reason is the decision to re-exchange the dollar against the dinar from 1470 to 1320. I like that re-exchange, right? But the rest of it I don't like. But here's the last sentence. The Iraqi dinar has been in an unenviable situation for nearly 20 years. After what one dinar was equal to $3.50 over the past century, it reached more than 1,515 dinar against one US dollar, which caused the Iraqi economy to worsen, right? So why? What a time. What a time to be reminding their citizens that their currency was once $3.50 to one dinar. And could it be it's getting ready to be worth that again? I hope so, right? All right. Oh, doggone it. There's a video. Oh, sorry. That's a habit. I hope that wasn't loud in your ear. I hate when I do this. You know what? I'm gonna do a post tomorrow. Well, maybe later today. That'll be for Monday. And I'm gonna put this video. The video's in Arabic, but I want you to see the images. I like showing you guys the images of how they get their money from the bank in wads. WADS. Wads of dollars or dinars. And I don't want to open up my email because it'll show people's names. See, I tried to be prepared and I forgot that. But anyway, so I'll put that on the one tomorrow. Even if it's just a really short, like 6-minute one, because there's stuff that I already know came out for Monday, August 14th, that is good that I want to share. But look, we're already 15 minutes into this, and I've only talked about 3 articles. So the stuff for Monday's not going to make it in this podcast. Okay, and really this is just to catch you up for the weekend. All right, and so this is the other article I put here. Interesting time to put out a history like this of the dinar. The dinar is in the central recovery rooms, and accusations against the Americans of creating crises. No. What? America causes. Okay, I'll leave that alone. But anyway, so yeah, they compare it to other world currencies. They do. They go back to 1971, 1973. There was one other thing here. They compare to Jordan, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. So yeah, it is. It's a nice history plus a modern time, and you should read it. There it is. Yeah. So, all right. All right. Parliamentary finance central measures failed to control the dollar. Why is this here? This is just another. Yeah, this is. Oh no, this is the Parliamentary Finance Committee member, Mohammed Nouri. Uh, I'll just leave that alone. Okay. And they pointed out the dollar file is still outside the control of the central bank due to the control of some external and internal parties by the decision of the central bank. Who could those parties be? I don't know. U.S. Treasury, Federal Reserve, Maliki. I don't know. Or do I? Hmm. Anyway, all right. Baghdad and Erbil negotiations are continuing regarding the oil and gas law. So, there again, they're still working on this oil and gas law. We still don't have an RV, and that's why I think the two are connected. But at least it says they resolved the controversy, and legally, parliamentary legality resolves the controversy. And is this the one? Yes. This is actually a nice article with more explanations, kind of history, who is all involved. And then there's some lovely pictures here. Oh, you know what? I need to pick a thumbnail picture. Look at those beautiful flowers. Can you see that? Let me see. Is it going to let me? Look at that. Look at that. You have this boring wood table, and right in the middle of the boring wood table is this beautiful arrangement of flowers. Yeah. Anyway, so those are all Kurds. All those people there, those are Kurds. And I know their names. Those three right there, I know their names. But yeah, so there's I don't know why that picture got so tiny, but that's a stock picture anyway. They've been using that picture for years. So they had 5 points that impede approval, but I think they worked it all out. All right. Concerning the dollar crisis, Al-Fatah, what do they say? The U.S. Treasury is manipulating the fate of the people. So see, did I just not say they're probably one of the inside parties causing the problem? But yeah, this is pretty hurtful to read. But keep in mind, this may be Al-Fatah is, I think they're Iranian backed, or they have some Iranian influence. And there's nothing nice about America in this article. Matter of fact, Washington verbally imposes Chapter 7 restrictions on Iraq in order to achieve its own interests. So I take that to mean they feel like, even though they have technically been released from Chapter 7, where they feel like we're still treating them as if they are under Chapter 7. And we probably are, right? So the only way they're going to achieve economic independence is to get out from under American hegemony. Perched on a rock's chest. Wow, talk about imagery, right? So yeah, that article's there. If you want to read that. Here. But then you have the financial advisor to the Prime Minister, yes, Mohammed Saleh. He said yesterday on Saturday The financial situation in the country indicates a high degree of stability. And he's talking about financial. And he's also saying they have already taken into account fluctuations of annual budget revenues, specifically oil revenues. And what else? By dealing with bonds and treasury transfers. Despite the foregoing, so all those things that I just kind of read, despite those foregoing, we do not expect a deficit during the current fiscal year for two reasons. The first is the existence of a financial surplus of about. See how Apple gets all up in your business? No, I don't want you to autoplay. Matter of fact, I'm gonna hug you. Ugh, sorry. Forgive me. I hope you didn't hear that tone, and I hope it wasn't too loud in your ear if you did. Okay. The first is the existence of a financial surplus of about 23 trillion dinars, and the second is that the cycle of oil assets is trending upward. Depending on who you ask, right? Yeah. Okay, so there's more to that article. Another good one. Washington calls on Baghdad to change the legal. Okay. Oh, I should have prefaced this. There's two things I'm a little worried about. Something's going on with Syria again. We're building up. It's in the news. They're building up forces. They're over the weekend. The citizens are posting videos of I don't know the right word, but they look like machines that have maybe 6 barrels, and they look like they are remote control operated. So they're anti-something, anti-missile, anti-drone, anti-something, but it hasn't been there. These systems have not been on top of buildings for months, and now they're back. So the citizens are freaking out, right? They're like, how come these anti-whatever things are popping up? Which actually, that's in Mondays. I probably shouldn't have said that. But anyway, this came out. Washington calls on Baghdad to change the legal description of its forces inside Iraq. Why? If everything is so stable and secure, why do the forces need to go from being called advisors to combat forces? I don't like that. It's just something, to me, that means they need to get ready to fight, right? I mean, and I know it's just possibly it's semantics, but I just don't like it. And then ISIS is creeping up in the news again, even though they're saying ISIS is in Syria, right? So those are just some little things that are creeping up that I don't like. But so I did want to point that out to you. Maybe it's nothing, maybe it's something. I mean, I know the West has to make it look like we still need our forces there. So I don't know. It's a sticky situation, right? But all right. So here, Al-Sudani assures the U.S. ambassador that Iraq will continue to implement its reform programs and build fruitful partnerships. I like that word, right? Fruitful. This is a good article. You should read it. This is official because this is from the media office of the Prime Minister. Yeah, that was Sunday. She, for her part, Alina Romanowski, expressed the U.S. government's keenness to continue cooperation and develop common interests with Iraq. She also praised the last round of strategic dialogue. But You should see some of the memes that they put, and not just for us. The citizens are like blah blah blah, right? It's because they've been hearing this stuff for so long. It's like they call them words, empty words. They call them um, ink, ink on paper. There's something else that they have these little phrases when they post these articles. They get pretty negative memes. Which hey, they're expressing their opinion. 5 years ago, they couldn't do that, or they do that and they'd be disappeared in the middle of the night, right? So progress. But anyway, okay, and then the Prime Minister, Iraqi Prime Minister Sudanese, stressed the need to preserve the prestige of the state. So they're again talking about how stable and everything they are. So again, why the need to change the terminology of our soldiers? So yeah. Okay, so here's my one commercial. Do you or someone you know own a business that remained open during COVID-19? You probably qualify, or they probably qualify for money, and it's so easy to find out if they do. You can just go to yourerchehere.com, and it takes 10 minutes to fill out the form there, and a professional will call you back and yeah, help you with that. Who couldn't use money for their business right now? And then also, if you're listening and you would like to do a little commercial like I do, you can join. And you have to click here where it says make money from home. You might be able to click this image here, and I still have not purchased a domain name. I will eventually, but I haven't yet. All right, so this was good too, and not a lot of talk about this. I mean, even I don't even think it was on their TV. It's not. It's not one of these articles that they post everywhere that they want all the citizens to see. But I think it was good. The parliamentary economy hosts the governor of the central bank to discuss controlling the exchange rate of the dollar. But they probably were like, how come you're not controlling it? Right? And look, there he is, Ali Alak. I had been wondering where he was. I forget who this guy is. Let's see, but it tells us. So, the Parliamentary Committee on Economy, Industry, and Trade, I think there were other people there too, expressed its support for the measures. Oh no, really? They did. So they're in support of the measures of the government and the Central Bank of Iraq in fighting speculators at the dollar exchange rate. So he was the media department, right? So there's more people that were there. Stated that they hosted Ali Mohsen Al-Alak, governor of the central bank. So he was there and discussed with him the rise of the dollar and mechanisms used by the bank to control the exchange rate, in addition to the issue of the Central Reserve of hard currency. So there was more. There's more you could read here, but so maybe they don't want a lot of attention brought to it because maybe they actually did more in that meeting than what the article is saying, right? Then the article goes on. That's what I want to think. Okay, so let me see. I think this is a good article. If you still have not read about the oil and gas law, here's your chance. Here's your chance to get educated on it. This is a nice article, very not too much legalese, easy to comprehend for me even. So yeah, if you go, but the title is A Delegation from the Regional Government Will Visit Baghdad Tomorrow, and 2 laws are on its agenda. So it'll probably be sometime this week. Yeah, Tuesday, August 15th. All right. So, and That's a good article, really. It has details and stuff, if you care. I know a lot of people don't care. They just want it done, like me. I just want it done. But I do recognize the immenseness. It's a very important law for the whole country. Okay? All right. Uh, Directors of government banks are looking to change banking systems in Iraq. So this was another meeting that took place today. And then specifically, there's one about Ramadan Bank. But I don't have it here because it pretty much said the same thing. But yeah. Okay, so we're at 30 minutes, so I'm going to stop here. But the central bank tightens control over banking institutions to keep them away from new international sanctions. So they do recognize that there's people hinting they're going to have sanctions put on them. So I don't think they want that. And then here's more talk about military. Now this is the Kurds. The Kurds having military talks with us, but it says here international coalition, but that's us mainly. And then there's some military stuff, which I don't want to read, but I did post it here because I know there are some people who like those type of articles. The Sudanese are open despite Biden's delay. Details of a new understanding that establishes long-term military cooperation. Doesn't that just sound boring? But I know some people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to go there and read that. And there's our military people. And wow, if that's their military people. But anyway, they look more like legal people to me. But anyway, yeah, so that article's there at the bottom if you would like to read that. All right, I hope this was helpful. You're all caught up for the weekend. And let's see what this week brings. I need to pick a picture. I think oh look, it won't let me. I have to find a picture for the thumbnail. All right, thank you for listening. As always, I do appreciate you. I hope this is helpful. If there's a subscribe or join or whatever button when you're listening, click that because you see I don't record regularly. So if all things work like they're supposed to, if you click that button, it will notify you. Gosh, I hope it doesn't notify you right now. It's kind of early in the morning. But anyway, oh, didn't mean that. Okay, all right, yes, I am done. Thank you. Oh, I'm not done. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any bills. Pay all your bills. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, evening, whatever time frame fits that you are enjoying this. And until next time.